Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to build our CI/CD pipeline in AWS using various AWS services. So in AWS there are a few services like CodeCommit, AWS CodeBuild, AWS CodeBuild used for testing as well, and AWS CodeDeploy. So with these tools we can build an entire pipeline, and there is also a service called AWS CodePipeline. So AWS CodePipeline actually orchestrate these different services. So generally we create build, we create deploy, and we connect both of them to the code pipeline, and the code pipeline will actually run all of these things in combination. Okay, so last time we did that on our GitHub using GitHub Actions. So there are different tools like Jenkins, even GitLab CI, Argo CD. So there are different tools in market that you can use for CI/CD purposes, but AWS also provides one, and we're gonna use this one for this lab. Now if you go to our Node.js, if you go to our uh, runbook, so we are going to follow this particular runbook for our application, for our lab. So what we're going to do is we're going to use GitHub instead, because the thing that I just showed you, the GitHub AWS CodeCommit, so this one is depreciated. So AWS doesn't let us create a new one, and I mean this has been outdated. Okay, so you cannot use CodeCommit. So for this lab we are going to ignore the CodeCommit. In future you are also not going to use the CodeCommit now, and we're just going to use GitHub for that particular code repository storage purpose. So once you are in GitHub, we got a code. So I have given you this particular GitHub CI/CD link. You can just copy this particular code into your own repository, because my repository will not work for you. So just make sure you fork it from here, or what you can do is you can just download the zip file and upload this particular code in your own repository. Okay, so if that's the thing, then it will work. So let's go through this code once again, so that it will be easier for us to understand. Now the important stuff that we need right now over here is, the first thing is we got our application. So we got our app.js. So app.js will have certain endpoints like root, health, app info, etc. So we will be hosting this particular application. It will be running on port number 3000. So these are the packages for that particular application. This is a Node.js application. So we are focusing on CI/CD stuff. So let's go to that part. We got scripts over here. So generally there are a few scripts that we are gonna be running when the pipeline starts the automation process. So when the pipeline starts, it has something like this. The pipeline will have this particular app spec file, and with the app spec file it understands what actions to do. Okay, so for example, it will know at which time it should perform this particular install dependency script. When the application starts, it performs start the server script. So you get an idea, right? So this is the instruction for our pipeline, and with this pipeline, this instruction, we are going to run this particular scripts. Okay, so if you go inside the script, you can see if you want to start a server, then it will just go to a particular location in our server, in our EC2 machine, and then it will just run this Node.js application run command. Okay, so that's the thing that it's going to do. So there are other things as well, like we got validation service, we got start, we got stop if you want to stop it, and we also got install dependency. So it will help us set different users. Okay, and we also got build spec. So within the build spec, we are actually going to use npm ci install and npm run lint commands. So it helps the installation process of our application to be much better. Okay, so when we are building it, so it should have npm install and then build our application on there. So yeah, these are the few files that we're going to be more focusing on. Now so this lab would be long if I start to set up everything right now. Okay, and there are a lot of the services different. So we are also going to use EC2 machines, we are going to use CodeBuild, CodeDeploy, GitHub. So lot of different things that you need to cover, right? So what I have done right now is I have already set this up on my side. So I will be going through some of the process. So all the process are written over here. I just followed this particular runbook to set it up on my side. So I'll just go through what I have set up in my AWS account, and we will be only seeing the actual demonstration for CodeBuild, CodePipeline, and CodeDeploy. Okay, so GitHub and EC2 machines. So it should be clear by this particular instruction over here. So first of all, we are gonna go and create some roles, IAM roles. Let's go to our console and see if we have created some of these. So I have created a role called CodePipeline service role. If I just copy this and go to my EC2, go to my roles, and then just paste it out. So you can see I have created this CodePipeline service role. So in CodePipeline service role, we got certain JSON policies. So you can see we are using we are allowing our pipeline to actually access our S3 bucket. So we have set up CI/CD AWS test bucket as a name for our S3 bucket, and we have also allowed it to actually implement CodeDeploy as well. So our CodePipeline policy allows the CodePipeline to access this code deployment stuff as well. Okay, so this is, so you can just copy paste those kind of stuff from this runbook. So just create a trust policy, and then you can just copy paste this session policy over here. Just make sure when you create an S3 bucket, the S3 bucket name should be over here. So this is just an example. You can put your S3 bucket name on this side. Okay, so in my case, the S3 bucket name is CI/CD AWS test bucket, right? So yeah, that's the first policy that we got. The second one is our CodeBuild service role. If you just copy this, go back to role, paste. So yeah, we got our CodeBuild service role as well. So in this role, we have given S3 full access, cloud was full access, full log, and we have also so this CodeBuild base policy service role. So these things would be added when we start to create something in our things that are in our CodePipeline stuff. Okay, so for now you can just add these two policies: AWS cloud full access and Amazon S3 full access. Okay, so yeah, this one is done. And then the third one would be our CodeDeploy service role. So if I just roll and just search it, so I put the name AWS CodeDeploy role. So inside that you can see AWS CodeDeploy role, the policy name is this. So I just put this policy. This is from AWS managed policy, so you can just select one and just put it over here, not a big deal. So these are the three roles that we are going to be using. Apart from that, we also have to create one simple EC2 code deploy policy. So just create this policy as per the instruction, and we will have EC2 code deploy role as well, right? So you need to create a role like this. So this role will have SSM managed instance core. So this particular policy, this one is AWS managed, and the second one is you are just going to give all access to S3. Okay, so this will help you to create artifact and stuff in our S3 bucket. So the third step we are going to do is create an S3 bucket. So make sure, like, whatever you create S3 bucket name over here, just put that S3 bucket name in this particular line. Okay, so in my case, if I go to my S3, so I have created an S3 bucket called CI/CD AWS test bucket. Got it? So yeah, just create a bucket for now. We will not have this particular folder. This will come only once your pipeline starts running. Okay, so when your pipeline starts, if you go to your so when the pipeline starts, our pipeline will redirect the our artifacts to this particular location. So yeah, that's the general setup till now. After that, what we are supposed to do is we need to create So we are around almost step 3. Yeah, step 3 is done, this one is done. So we are around here. S3 bucket is created, just a simple bucket and nothing more. And then the last thing that we're going to create is EC2 instance. So just run an EC2 instance, or T2 micro would be great, right? So in this video now we are going to use Amazon Linux to AMI. So this particular configuration code is for Amazon Linux OS. So make sure that you do use Amazon Linux AMI so that you can run this code. So in my case, inside an EC2 machine, so I just created a Node.js server and then just connect it with this, and just copy paste the entire code base, this particular code, copy from here and just paste it in your terminal like this, right? So okay, you get the thing, right? Just copy this over here. So what this code actually does is, let's just go through this code once again. So it will just update the system. It will install Ruby and wget. So wget is you're gonna use for downloading stuff. Then it's gonna go to EC2 user home base and download this CodeDeploy artifact, and it's gonna install the CodeDeploy stuff. So what we are doing over here is we are installing the CodeDeploy agent. Okay, so in EC2 machines we are gonna install CodeDeploy agent so that our CodeDeploy can actually access our EC2 machine and then deploy the code inside it. The second thing we're going to do is install Node.js and PM2, because we are going to using Node.js application in our demo. So yeah, this is the simple code to install Node.js in our system. After that, we are just gonna start AWS CodeDeploy agent. Just turn it on with this command. And then the last thing that we're going to do is create a folder called var www.node.js app. So this is just a folder, and we're going to change the user for this folder to be EC2 users. Thus we're going to just change the honor of this, right? ch1, and ultimately we are just going to verify if the CodeDeploy agent is running. So these are the small steps compiled together, so you can just copy paste all of these strings and it will work as instructed. Okay, so that's all for the general configuration that we need to start our pipeline. Okay, now the main thing is let's go and build the pipeline now. So if you go to search and you can search pipeline, so there should be something called CodePipeline. Just click over there. So inside a CodePipeline you will have different tools over here. So source like CodeCommit, you can also have artifacts. In our case we are not going to use AWS code artifact, but instead we are going to use S3 bucket, where you can store the artifact within the S3 bucket. And then there is a build, so we are going to use the CodeBuild section to build our so the CodeBuild will be more of a like CI pipeline, and CodeDeploy is more like a CD pipeline. Okay, so CI will be handled by CodeBuild and CD will be handled by CodeDeploy, and then the entire pipeline will help to orchestrate all of these things. Okay, so yeah, what we're going to do is like go to first CodeBuild and then click on build projects, and again you can just click create project. So I'm just gonna demonstrate like what are the things that you need to set up in this particular section, but I have already done one over here, Node.js app build, and we have connected to GitHub and stuff. So yeah, this works. The settings that I'm gonna give you will work. But we'll be just testing at last on that particular one. Okay, so let me just copy the name over here and just create a different version for that, and then I'm just gonna say v2. So yeah, there are different project types. So runner project, create a CodeBuild, manage runner. So we are not gonna go inside the runner and different kind of stuff. So default project is good for right now. Okay. So runner is more like if you want to run the CodeBuild automation stuff within a different server like EC2 machines, or like if you want to just go for a default which will just use the internal EC2 instances by themselves. So for now default is good, so we don't need to do anything like this additional config is not needed, and the source, so our source of the code would be GitHub. So we can also use GitHub, enterprise level, Bitbucket, GitLab, S3, CodeCommit, right? So all of these things we can use it as a source code, like where our code will get pulled from. So for our case, we are just going to use GitHub. So make sure you have connected the credentials. So I'll just show you how to do it. If you haven't connected it, then this will be a little bit different. So you just go to this will be like a connect button or something like that. Just click on manage account credentials, or like connection button, and you can click the GitHub like this. So if I just disconnect this and see, so this should be your status. And what you can do is click on GitHub apps, and within the GitHub apps you can click connection. Okay, let me just save it empty. Let me just go to here build and just create a new project again. And for the source, GitHub. So if you got something like this, then what you can do is manage account credentials, and there should be, so if you don't have this, then what you can do is you can create a new GitHub connection. Just click on new GitHub connection. It will open a different tab, and it will just ask you to give a name. So I'm just gonna say connection 2 for now. Okay, you don't need to tag, just connect to GitHub. And once that is done, then it will ask you to install a new app. Then just click on install a new app, and it will go to your GitHub account, and it will ask for your login. If you have done the login, then it will show something like this, and it will help you select your organization as well. So for now I'm just going to select this first one, verify the email. So in my case it's gonna give me the verification code in my email address, so just bear with me for a second. So I have received my code, verify. So yeah, once the verification is done, yeah, so I have given all the repository. So you can also do, like, if you want to just only give selected repository for the access, but in my case I have given all the repository, and just save it. Okay, after that should be done. Now you should get back to this particular page, and after that just click on connect. Done. So just refresh this, and if you click over here, so kPersonal is the one that I created previously, and this is the new one. Okay, just click on this and click on save. Okay, so this is how you connect your GitHub account or repository to your AWS CodeBuild. Okay, so in this case we got repository. So if you just click on this, so these are all the repository within my account, right? So it will just list it over here. So what I'm going to select over here is our AWS CI/CD CI/CD repository. Just so this is the one, CI/CD AWS, right? So this repository is the one that I have linked you guys in the notebook. So if you just click over here, this one opens. So yeah, this is the repository, this link, or it's better like you just select from here, right? So yeah, selected this particular code. Okay, that's all. Now if you go to primary source, so these are all good. We don't need much of the changes over here. Just click, just set it by default, GitHub right maintain action. So webhook event is more like when do you want to trigger this particular build? Okay, so in this case I have select all pull request. So any pull request stuff, any action happen in a GitHub, it will trigger this particular build stuff. Okay, and then go to environment. So we don't really need this capacity. So if you are building a lot more high level of a pipeline, for example, like the pipeline that you are using to build the images, or like AMIs or operating system itself, then those stuff might take like few hours of pipeline time, right? Maybe 2 to 3 hours of constant pipeline running. So in that case, you might want to reserve the capacity if you need that kind of a stuff, like more dedicated instance hardwares. But in our case, that's demonstration, so we're just going to use on demand. Manage image is good for us if you want to have different images that you want to use for building stuff, then yeah, you can use this. So in our case, we are going to use EC2 instance. This is good, but if you want to use Lambda for optimization, faster approach, then you can use that one as well. Okay, operating system. So we're going to select, let's say, Amazon Linux for now. Runtime standard image. Generally, I think you can just skip this process as well. Okay, so now instead of using a new service role, what you need to do is existing service role, because we have created the roles, right? So this is CodeBuild service role, okay, because you are using CodeBuild app right now. So just put this service role over here. Build spec, we don't really need it. Let me just go through the artifact, this once again, and see if you need to put anything else. So authorize code based to GitHub action. This is what we have done. So manage image environment, Amazon Linux 2 standard, and image 5. Yeah, let's just fill those stuff. Okay, Amazon Linux standard image could be 50. Yeah, this one. And we got environment type Linux, so we deselect that. And yeah, you must need to put this one, okay, CodeBuild service role, the one that we created at first. So just put it over here in the build spec. So make sure you put the build spec.yaml. So yeah, just insert the build spec command, use the build spec file, and then in the file just put this particular file name. Now you can see, if you go to code base, we have build spec.yaml file, and this is the instruction to actually run the build command, right? And we have instructed like use this particular repository over here that we have set over here, like use this repository, and within this repository select the build.yaml file to actually run the build stuff. Okay, so that's what we are configuring over here, build spec.yaml file. Just make sure this file name is exactly the one that over here. Okay, okay, that's all. And then artifact stuff. So if you want to create an artifact, then you can just select, or maybe like S3 bucket, and then select your artifact bucket name over here. Select any one that you can choose. So for now, we are just gonna use CI/CD RBSTS bucket for now. Okay, and artifact would be like build artifact. So this particular artifact section, you can skip it. You don't really need it for now. Okay, that's all. Now for CloudWatch log, yeah, we can use CloudWatch log. Or maybe you can also click on S3 for S3 logging, but CloudWatch is good enough. And just create build project. Just ignore this, it won't cause any issue. Create notification rule for this project. Okay, so what we did right now is we have set up our CI pipeline. Okay, this is our CI pipeline now. Okay, so just the name is this build v2. The next step that we're gonna do is let's see, we got our GitHub connection done, right? So yeah, so this particular step is the connection one that we did earlier is also good enough, but if you want to go a little bit deeper, just what you can do over here is just go to settings and then connections, and you can see these are two connections that we created, right? So if you want to create more connections, just create connection and do the same process like before. So yeah, this particular section is about that particular thing. Now the seventh step is code build application. Now if you go to code deploy, so if you go to code deploy and then just click on deployments, so I already have one over here. Yeah. And if you go to application, and you can just create a new one. Okay, create an application. So what you can do is CI/CD test v2. I'm just gonna write that. Complete platform will be EC2. Yeah, this is good enough. And create an application. Okay, so application, create an application, that is done. Now you need to create deployment group. So the deployment group could be named production, right? So create a deployment group. I'm just gonna name it production. So obvious AWS CodeDeploy role. So we created this at the beginning. Deployment type, you can do different sort of a deployment. Like blue-green deployment is something like if you want to roll out the small number of instances at first, and then if that passes the test, then you deploy on all the things. Okay, but for now we're just going to use in place, which is by default. And then go to service role. Service role is done, and select EC2 instance tag group. Okay, so just environment configuration EC2 instance, and the tab group could be like name. We got our Node.js server, and add more tag. It could be environment, that could be production. So where did I get this from? So if you go to your EC2 instance, and this is your Node.js server, and if you go to tags, so you can set it up like this. Just manage the tag, create name tag, Node.js app server, environment, production. Okay, so if you just set it up, and if you go over here and refresh this page, then you will get this one. So what this means, it plans where to deploy it. Now it will select the particular EC2 machine which have these tags, and it will deploy in that particular machine. Okay, so yeah, that's all. Let's see, deployment setting, code default, all at once, rollback. So did we select that somewhere? Yeah, so this one, just code deploy all at once is good. So all at once is good. We don't need auto rollback. Yeah, so this will be good enough. Auto rollback enables auto rollback deployment. So if you select, maybe like if you select the plugin one, then only you can select the auto rollback one. Okay, load balancer. So uncheck enable. So we don't need a load balancer now. Just uncheck the enable part. Yeah, and that's all. Just create a group, create deployment now. So this will take some time to create a deployment. So yeah, this is how you create like code build and code deploy. Okay, so you got CI pipeline, you got CD pipeline. And now CD pipeline will have the app spec by default. Okay, now go to pipelines, code pipeline, click on pipelines. You already got one, so I'm just going to create a new one. Just click on Node.js app pipeline, create a pipeline, and the pipeline could be build custom pipeline. Next, pipeline name could be just anything. I'm just going to put Node.js app pipeline v2. Okay, and we're going to select code pipeline service role. So we got existing role, click code pipeline service role. Execution mode could be advanced settings. Okay, yeah, now this could be queued, not a big issue. So this means like if there are two pipelines running, let's say I made two changes, two commits, one after another, then in that case, how does the pipeline runs? Okay, so queue means like one pipeline will finish, then only the second pipeline will run. Parallel means one they will run at like parallelly. If one is not completed, the second one can start running by itself. You can also use parallel, so not a big deal. So where we are right now, ARN, we have selected this one, And inside advanced settings, so advanced settings is more like where we're gonna put our build stuff. So if once we have built the thing, we are gonna select custom history location, and the bucket name would be the one that we created. So we're gonna select AWS test bucket. Okay, so what this does is when the pipeline runs, it will create an artifact, and that artifact will be stored in AWS bucket. Okay, that's all. We don't need to manage any sort of key, so yeah, default AWS manage key is good. Next, source provider. So our source provider is now GitHub, right? So just GitHub app, and then the repository name, connection. So I'm going to use connection 2 for this one. Repository name is where is our CI/CD? Yeah, CI/CD AWS. And this help us select the branch. So currently that particular repository only have main branch, right? So if you got multiple branches over here, and if you want to trigger, let's say you only want to trigger the pipeline on dev branch or products, not the production branch, then you can set that up like this. Okay, so main branch. If you want to trigger from different branch, then you can choose different one as well. Artifact output format. So do you want to format the artifact in, like, do you want to clone the entire repository, or do you want to just use the default stuff and zip it by default, right? So we're just gonna select the default one for now. Let's see, main branch, startup and source code change, pipeline default is good, and click on next. Yep, next. It's a build option. Now within the build option, you got let's see, yeah, so don't use the command, just click on build providers, and we got our CodeBuild. Click on CodeBuild. Our project name is build v2. Single build is good enough, reason is good enough, artifact source, let's see, yeah, this is good enough. Just click on next. Yep, just click on next. Test provider. So if you don't have test provider, then we can just skip it. So we don't currently have a testing mechanism right now. We're going to test it by build itself, so yeah, we don't need it. Skip the test case. Deployment. So yeah, we can select the deployment. It could be CodeDeploy, and we're gonna select build artifact is good enough. Application name CI/CD test, CI/CD v2. So we just created v2, right? Deployment group production. So where we're gonna deploy it. Maybe it could be production, it could be like different EC2 machine, could be for testing or dev environment, so we can do that. Just click on next. So yeah, everything is there. Create a pipeline. Okay, so this might take a little bit time. So yeah, there are a lot of settings over here, right? So there could be some issues, some misconfiguration could be there. So if you go to pipeline again, so this will take a little bit time. You can see I have also created the past one. So if this doesn't work in our live demo, then I will just show how the pipeline actually works with this particular pipeline that I have created in the past. Okay, let's just wait for a while. I'm just gonna pause the video for now. Okay, so the deployment that I just created was failed. Let's see what's the issue over there. So you can see this one. So this pipeline has been created and it started by automatically. The build was passed, but the deployment failed. So if you click on the deployment, and you can see the view it on CodeDeploy, and within the CodeDeploy you can see where it failed. Okay, so you can also see like where the artifact is sent. So it is sent on this bucket, this particular location. If you just click over here, you can see this is the particular S3. Let's see, yeah, we can see that in a bit. So for now what we got is like, if you go click on view event, it says application bundled, application installed. So it fails because if you click on the editor, it says this particular file already exists in our EC2 machine. So maybe it's because I didn't create a new EC2 machine, I used the past one. So let's try to fix it once. If it doesn't work, then we will jump with the past one. Okay, so it says this file already existed, node modules files. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to our EC2 machine. Let's just click on EC2. I'm just going to go inside the EC2 machine right now. Connect. And just make sure the location. So var node.js node modules. So I'm just going to remove the entire node modules. Okay, just copy this. Go to particular location. So as you can see, this particular EC2, so this EC2 machine now have Node.js app, right? Because our pipeline runs and it pulls the code from there. Okay, so let me just remove this node modules for now. Node modules. So yeah, node modules is gone. So let's try to rerun this pipeline and see what happens. Go to pipeline v2. So to rerun this pipeline, what you need to do is let me just refresh this once. Yeah, just release the changes. Release. So it will run the pipeline again. If you refresh the page, so it is in progress. Click on the pipeline execution. So our source code, like it goes to GitHub and it pulls the code. So this works. If you click on this, let's see code star connection. So you can see which repository it pulls, right? What's the actual code that it pulls from there. You can just click on this and download this particular file. So it's on S3. You can see CI/CD test bucket, Node.js application, source artifact. So you can this is the file that it pulls. So if you just download it, and let's try to view it once. Okay, let's see what happens. Sorry, click over here, open the folder. So I'm just gonna extract it over here. So you can see we got scripts, we got policy, public, right? So everything is pulled from our code. And okay, let's go to our logs again and go to our pipeline. Okay, it's working on deployment. Just refresh the page. Let's see if it passes or not. Okay, this one failed again. Let's go and see the issue, if it is the same one or the different one. View the events, install, non error, already exists. Yeah, so the issue is we already got our pipeline that set it up, right? So let's just go and test that particular pipeline. Okay, not the one that we just created, because I think we need to create an EC2 instance and then link that to a new EC2 instance. But for now, let's just go and test this one. So let's just release the change and run the pipeline once again, if it works or not. Just refresh it. So the first source part completed, build part. I'm just gonna pause the video for you. So yeah, this pipeline successfully ran. So that's the issue. Like, so this is the pipeline that actually points to the EC2 machine that we are using. So probably we need to create a new EC2 machine, and it should work on your side as well. Okay. So yeah, if you so what happens over here is it actually changes the stuff, right? So if I go to my EC2 instance, and then click on public server, because we have hosted the server. So how it happens is, if you go to um, your start server CSS, so as you can see, let me just show you something for clear understanding. Okay, yeah, click on a so when the pipeline runs, and click on a code deploy, and the code deploy will determine where it run or not, and view the events. So if you view the events, you got different stuff like application stop, application install, application start, application validate, right? So all of these things happens because we wrote it over here, right, in our start service. So you can see in our application spec, you can see application start. So when application start happens, it will run start server.script. Okay, so application start means it ran this particular script. The script says starting Node.js application, and it starts the server in that particular EC2 machine. Okay, so if you go to the EC2 machine, then the server should be up and running over here. So if you just go to EC2 instance and you say let's see, perl localhost, did I put something, maybe not HTTP. Okay, no worries. If I just go to EC2 instance and click on public IP address, just click over here, and remove this HTTPS stuff. So yeah, you will be getting this kind of application over here. So there is small silly mistake that I made over there. So if you go to EC2 instance and you go to security and you go to security group, so make sure you open the port number 3000. Okay, so just go over there and access TCP custom port 3000, and from anywhere IPv4, save the rule. And if you again go to EC2 instance and you're going to click the public IP address, open it. So if you change the HTTP to HTTP, S to HTTP, and then port number 3000, enter it. So yeah, the application is hosted. If you go for health check, it will do the health check. If you go for app info, so it will so this application gives you different endpoints, so clear the output, right? So yeah, this is working. So let's see this in action when we do the automation stuff. Okay, so if you go to our our code base, and let's say I'm gonna make a small changes in the code, right? So for example, there is something called CI/CD lab action pipeline, right? So just copy this and try to find this in our code. So you can see this is the code where we're gonna change it. So pipeline, and after that I'm gonna change this is a test commit, right? Save it, and the commit is there. So just commit this one, test. And so let me just show you one more thing before that. So if you go to your code deploy, if you go to your code pipelines, and you can see this pipeline is in like there is nothing running right now. So if I just commit this, and then I just do git push, so it will push to my main branch. If I go to the git and I refresh this page, so you can see the test commit is here. I just committed that, right? And if I go back to my pipeline over here, where was it? over here, and now you can see it automatically starts, right? And it shows the commit message as well, test, right? So I just commit it my GitHub, and it automatically start this pipeline process. And if you go to the execution pipeline and see it, so you can see it starts to build now. Let's just wait for a while. It's going to take a little bit time. So yeah, build is completed. Now the deployment stuff will be in progress. Just click on deploy. Let's see what happens. So it's in progress. Let's see if we can have any. Let's see, deployment ID. So all of these things will be logged as well, right? So in our S3 bucket and stuff. If you just view the event, so yeah, everything's done. If you go back to the pipeline again, so pipeline, not just application pipeline, and you can see our last execution that is done by our test commit is completed. It was succeed. So if you go to the website again, and if you refresh the page, now you can see it's reflected over here. So what I did was I just commit the changes in GitHub, and it automatically changes. It automatically commit build, it automatically deploys, and it automatically appears over here, right? So this is how we set up the CI/CD pipeline. So that's all for this tutorial. It's kind of long, but I hope you have learned a lot of things in this tutorial. Yeah, thanks a lot.